If you have stepped outside, then you most likely already have seen his art firsthand, whether you are aware or not. Referred to by Steve Jobs in an interview as the greatest living graphic designer, Paul Mann was responsible for defining visual culture in America. He is the creator of many popular corporate logo designs, many of which are probably very familiar to you. As a visual communication student myself, I believe it is very important to appreciate the artists that paved the way and transformed this field into what it is today. Paul Mann was a largely self-taught American graphic designer and pioneer who turned graphic design into what we know today. He is best known for his logo designs, and even after his death, he remains one of the most famous graphic designers in the world. Although he did not have the most elite backstory, he had already made a name for himself by the time he reached his 20s. Although he took some time and became an art director and taught graphic design, his success is linked to his corporate design logos, which have remained legendary even after his death. Now, let's dive right into who this man was and how he changed the graphic design field. Growing up, Mann always had the creative spark, but it wasn't until he was grown that he found the environment he could flourish in. Born August 15, 1914, as Peretz Rosenbaum in Brooklyn, New York, Mann worked for his father's grocery store part-time, and his artistic skills shone through when he painted signs for the store and for local school events. In an attempt to conceal his Jewish upbringing, he changed his name to Paul Mann, which was in his best interest as he entered the field of graphic design for a career. He was mostly self-taught, but his father believed that art alone was insufficient for a job, so he just attended regular high school. Although while there, he attended night school at Pratt Institute from 1929 to 1932. He later attended many art institutes in succession: the New York School for Design, the Art Students League, and Yale University in Connecticut. Although he had a rich background in art education, his knowledge of design came mostly from reading European magazines. Although his father did not believe art was good enough for a job, Mann transformed himself and was able to create a name everybody knew. Mann may have been the one best known for his iconic corporate logo designs, but many brands owed their success being kickstarted thanks to him. At the age of 27, he was already named chief director at William H. Weintraub and Company, a new ad agency. Mann introduced a new element into art: form. The market shifted from just using plain copywriters to using chief directors. IBM, UPS, Enron, Morningstar, Westington, ABC, and Next are some of these brands. Mann's design for IBM is still in use today, and his UPS logo remained intact until 2003. His design showed businesses the importance of consistent branding, simplicity, and identity systems. Mann was 72 when he was commissioned by Steve Jobs to design a logo for his next computer corporate identity project. He charged Steve Jobs $100,000 and produced a single design and a book alongside it explaining his reasoning behind it. Steve Jobs admired him greatly, calling him the greatest living graphic designer. His creativity knew no bounds, yet he did draw inspiration from other sources. He was one of the first American commercial artists to practice the Swiss style of graphic design. The 19th century marked the beginning of this grid-based design, otherwise known as International Typographic Style. This style relies heavily on three principles: cleanliness, readability, and objectivity. Mann very much put emphasis on simplicity when it came to his designs, and he drew a lot of inspiration from the Swiss style. Mann often looked to Europe for inspiration. He was highly influenced by German artists Gustav Jensen and Paul Klee, both artists who practiced the Swiss style of graphic design as well. Growing up reading European magazines, he also discovered the work of Cassandra and many other European artists. These influences shone through when he included collage, montage, hand lettering, drawing, and photography into his designs. Thankful for those who influenced Mann while he was growing up. Without them, then he might not have been the same artist we all draw inspiration from today. Even after Paul Mann's death, Many of his logo designs are still in use today, and his work will forever influence us and shape the design world. Although his father did not believe that art would be a profitable career, he managed to create a very successful life for himself despite that. Not only did he go on to teach the very thing he loved at universities such as Yale and Pratt, but he forever impacted the field as a whole. Although Paul Mann was a largely self-taught American graphic designer, he was a pioneer who helped shape the field into what it is today as we know it. He is best known for his logo designs and use of the Swiss style of graphic design, and he will forever remain a legend, and the visual communication field would not be the same without him. Now that you know more about this great artist, I hope that you will have a better appreciation for logos and design and maybe look around more. Who knows, you might catch a glimpse of his art with your own eyes.